You're no hero. You're an adventurer, a reaver, a cutpurse, a heathen slayer, a tight-lipped warlock guarding long-dead secrets. You seek gold and glory, winning it with sword and spell, caked in the blood and filth of the weak, the dark, the demons, and the vanquished. There are treasures to be won, deep underneath, and you shall have them. Ha ha. Yeah. Dungeon Crawl Classics role-playing game. Quick start rules and 2 adventures. Something I've been wanting to show people for a bit. Oh, there's my coffee. I've got it in a nice, convenient little bottle. It's not that strange when you consider how many times I've drank cold coffee. Yeah, you stick it in your locker, and when you get back on your next break, it's all cold, and you just get used to it. Let's see here. This is a... sorry, I just got a notification on my phone while I'm recording. I wonder if that recorded. Weird. Oh, I guess I'll find out. Anyway, I have read this book, and I have not exactly used it. I have used the actual game, though. And this is what I'm going to call... So yeah, let me explain. If I continue doing this, I'm going to have 2 types of reviews. One of the reviews is going to be called a read-only review. And read-only means I just read it. And I'll just tell what I think about it. The other is an actual review, or a actual play review, where I've actually played the adventure or game. Now, this is both, and I will explain. You see, it says right here, 2 adventures. I have ran one of these adventures, and I'll get to that momentarily. This is a really good book for anybody that wants to start playing Dungeon Crawl Classics. Look at that. $5. You get a lot of good content for just $5. Let's see. Look at that old style art. This is something, part of something called the OSR, or Old School Renaissance. Old School Renaissance is something I've been into lately. I've mostly read about it and played very little of it, or at least recently. If you don't want to count all the times I've played AD&D or the regular box sets, which I played a lot of the box sets. So what do you get? DCC RPG Starter Rules. That's Dungeon Crawl Classics role-playing game starter rules. And it's, for such a thin book, it gives you pretty much all the basics you need. Look, core mechanics, explains the dice chain. Dice chain is, you know how in Dungeons and Dragons you got advantage and disadvantage? Well, here you go up a dice chain. So let's say you're rolling a d20, and you say you'll have the equivalent of disadvantage. You'd go down 1, maybe 2 on the die chain. But if you're going to be doing really good, you'd go up the dice chain. Now look at these D's here. Anybody familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, they know all about the D4, D6, D8, D10, D12, D20. But what are these others? D3, D5, D7? D7 shouldn't even be possible, right? Well, they have special dice. But you don't need the dice. All you need is the regular D&D dice. That's, for lack of a better word, polyhedral dice, which is the D4, D6, D8, D10, D12, D20. And right here, you could still roll with regular polyhedral dice. And it gives you a little quick on how to use those. Now I have the actual Zachi dice, which are really cool. I gotta tell you, I like them. I think they're just neat. This is a quick rundown on how it's different from AD&D and other older systems. Goes straight into character creation. It's talking about... It's pretty good. Got your different deals here. Look at this. This is an attribute. Luck is an attribute in this game. The attributes are a little different. This isn't considered an OSR game, but the attributes are different from standard D&D. And that's a good thing. I mean, I like standard D&D, but I like to have it mixed up a bit. Now look at this. Now, your first character in this game is typically going to be a level 0 character. And they want you to roll randomly. This game is all about the random rolls. I know that seems to be anathema nowadays. Nobody wants to roll randomly anymore. Even dungeon masters don't want people to roll randomly anymore because they're worried about cheating. But there is something to rolling randomly for your attributes and everything else. It just... I can't explain. It adds an extra bit of excitement to it. And it actually balances it out after a while, you know? If that makes any sense. Yeah, this is funny. This is old school humor at its best. I love the old style of artwork. Anyway, there it is. The character creation funnel. You know what? Give you a quick rundown on the character classes. You've got your cleric, you expect it. You got your thief. There's all your thief stuff you could do. I'm not going to go into any details on the characters. Just trust me that they are different from Dungeons and Dragons. Really exciting. Especially when you get to the warrior. Wow. Warriors are not boring in this game. You got your wizard. They have their own magic. Their magic is very, very different. Dwarf. Yeah, this is a game where your race is your class. So you got dwarf, elf, halfling. Your good old standbys from old school days. Little weapons. Tells about combat. A little bit on equipment. Combat actions and fumbles and... Yeah, fumbles. Fumbles can hurt. Let's see here. Look, they have an entire table for fumbles. What could happen? Then you have your crit tables in case you do a critical hit, and it's all divided by level. Well, level and class. Yeah, fun. Let's see if I could... Okay, they have something here called Spell Burn, where you could pump up your spell, which is very useful, and I'm going to show you why. I'm just going to skip all this stuff. Oh yeah, you could gain corruption from casting spells in this game. Well, wizard spells anyway. Let's see. These are the cleric spells. They give a nice little quick rundown. You know, it obviously doesn't give the whole spell list. But let me show you something here. This is the spell in large. In most games it's like, okay, this is what the spell does. But this goes a little bit further than that. Maybe I should hold my camera like this. You know what? That would probably make sense. Check this out. I don't know if you can see that very good. Alright, you see how it has the score here on the side? Yeah, I suck at this. Anyway, the higher you roll on your, because every time you cast a spell, it's not just fire and forget. This is, you're rolling for it. And when you roll, the higher you roll, the better. And these are the effects. This is just the enlarged spell. So every time you cast a spell in this game, it is an event. pretty impressive. Flaming Hands, that's an old school map there. I like Flaming Hands. Magic Missile. Yeah, they sound familiar, but when you add this extra to it with all the possibilities of what could happen, yeah, that makes it really fresh. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't played anything over a level 0 funnel. So I'm not sure how much if this will bog down the game or not. I imagine it will not. I can only imagine it would only make it a lot more fun. I can't wait for the day when I run a level 1 game. Now for the part that I actually came to review. Portal Under the Stars. Remember when I said I have an actual play review and a read-only review? Oh, look at this. Portal Under the Stars is the first adventure. This is your 0 level funnel. This is actually in my core rule book. Well, my core rule books, because I have multiple copies of this game. Can you believe it? You know I like a game when I have more than one copy of it. Well, not always, but in this case, it's definitely true. Portal Under the Stars is a really, really good adventure, and it's for level 0 characters. Level 0 characters have no class. They have an occupation that they can't come from, and they hope to escape. Let's see. Look at this map. All the maps in Dungeon Crawl Classics RPG are this gorgeous. Now, imagine if you were just looking at a regular D&D map. You would have all your little stuff mapped out, maybe the edges all kind of like that. But the extra work, this is a work of art. This is a work of art. And it is gorgeous. I love the maps in Dungeon Crawl Classics. I really do. This level 0 funnel, I'm not going to spoil anything. There's some traps, there's some puzzles, there's some things to be found. Obviously there are monsters, there's a mystery, and there's even some hooks for later games, if you know where to look, if your DM's clever enough. Okay, now, oh, what's this? Everything's upside down. Well, that's because, I don't know why they did this, but the level 1 adventure, so you could go from your level 0 funnel straight into your level 1 adventure, Gnole House. Ha! Here's another one of these gorgeous maps. Maybe not as awesome as the Portal Under the Stars map, but I like it. This is still a work of art. This is gorgeous. Now, as you know, gnolls in D&D, they're basically demonic hyena men. These gnolls are a little bit different. I don't want to spoil the gnolls for you, but they're pretty odd. I have only read this adventure. While Portal Under the Stars, I've ran it for a couple of different groups. Had a blast both times. I've yet to run a level 1 game. And that's the sign of an inferior game master. I admit it. I should be running this. But maybe I should tell you something about this game. You're used to walking through dark caverns and hallways in your regular standard game of D&D. This one is a little different. You are actually in exploring a house deep in the woods. How do I describe this? This is swords and sorcery going into a Grimm's fairy tale. I think that's the best I could describe it. I really enjoyed reading this. It was a treat, and I hope to run this. Well, ideally, I would take this. I would run both Portal Under the Stars, and then in the very next session run Gnole House, just back to back, to teach some new players, or just run some of my older players in it. I like this game, and I hope you like it too. If I do another one of these videos, it'll probably be the core rulebook, which has pretty much the same cover, but like 100 times thicker. Yeah, it is a treat to read. Anyway, this is going longer than I intended, so I'm just going to call it quits.